Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we got a pretty cool guest. Some might say that this gentleman invented the internet, or at least brought it to Harford County at some point in the mid-90s, at the fruition of it all, and has been in digital marketing since then with WebIXI. It's got a family business, and now is getting more into the nonprofit world, and has been for a long time, but with a new organization called Nana. So we're going to talk about it all today. If you don't know this man, you've been hiding under a rock. Big name in Harford County, Mr. Pat Chambers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yep, absolutely. I am looking forward to talking a little bit about marketing because I like marketing too.
All right.
But really want to try to focus on the nonprofits that you are, getting involved in and getting more people involved in that, because Harford County is a great place for people to really get involved in the community.
It really is. It's a very giving community.
Yeah.
We're fortunate to be here.
Yeah, cool. So before we get into all that, give everybody a little bit of a background pre-1995 as to who you are, where you come from, and all that.
Yeah. So, last century, pre-1995. I was in the Navy. I was a communicator in the Navy as well, radium, and I don't even think that rate is around anymore. But spent 2 tours on the USS Carl Vinson, which is a nuclear carrier.
Oh.
It was brand new coming out of the gate back then. But being in communications, I kind of started nerding out on all the digital pieces of it and all that. Mm-hmm. And when I got out of the Navy, I went to work for a defense contractor, and we were doing test and evaluation of communication systems. So before they're deployed to the fleet, we would put them through the testing and give it the stamp of approval. And during that period of time, I was the test conductor for DIS when all of the military branches were moving from point-to-point communication systems over to using a secure element of the internet as the method of communications.
Yeah.
And that was largely for survivability reasons. Like if you were, prior to that, if you were, say, on that carrier in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and you're sending an email. It wasn't email back then. You're sending a message, say, to...
Carrier pigeon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you attach it and just give it a toss. But yeah, so the point to point, if you were on that carrier and you were sending a message to, say, somewhere in Japan, the message might go to, say, Naples first, and you get an acknowledgement. As far as you knew, that message was delivered, because that's as far as it went, and they would have to forward it on. So with the internet, what happens is you send the message out, and it's kind of split into packets, and you don't get that acknowledgement until the end user in Japan receives it, and now you know that message was actually delivered.
Oh my God. How long would that, if you could put a number on that, how many days would that take? Or
Seconds.
Hours, seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like... Okay.
Yeah, no, it just goes out and it just kind of and just reassembles on the other end. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I was doing that for a while, and while I was kind of getting involved with that, I opened this little community bulletin board. It was like a mini AOL CompuServe back then, this type of bulletin board systems.
Yeah.
That was Harford Home. We're doing a lot of fun stuff with that. And maybe a year into that, internet access started becoming a public thing. So we started a dial-up ISP in Harford County and Cecil County. So yeah, we did bring the internet to Harford County.
Yeah.
We put it in the Harford County Public Schools in 96, when internet access in schools was 2 dial-up accounts.
Oh my God.
2 different computers in each school.
All right. Is that where it goes?
That noise is money. I love that noise. I still love that noise. I wish I should make that a ringtone. Yeah. So, and even then we would kind of like have little special projects. Like, so when we were doing the schools, we created a course to teach teachers how to use the internet in education. We would go out to all the PTAs and teach parents how to keep their kids safe on the internet. So there was always something that we kind of just wanted to do that was a little bit more.
Yeah, and then people started building websites, and you were creating websites for people. I remember being at the Bel Air Youth Center, like in the mid '90s, and I remember that you guys hosted that website.
Yeah,
way back when, and
that kind of naturally came out since we were doing the internet access and the business. Websites were becoming a thing too, and the business that approach us, and you guys do websites? We'll be like, yeah, we do websites, and then we went and figured out how to do websites,
right.
And digital marketing, that type of thing is not stopped. Like, it's like, do you do this? Because each one of these new things coming down the road. So we've always had to pivot a little bit.
Yeah, and there's a lot of pivots. I mean, technology just is so fast and it's just coming out with something new all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. And yet you've always kind of taken the bull by the horns and just jumped into it.
Yeah, we try to stay one step ahead because, I mean, really, in digital marketing, it's easy to fall behind. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't say immediately, but in a year.
It's fast.
It is.
I mean, you buy a brand new computer and a couple years in and it's like obsolete, you know?
And every time you bought that new computer, you say, I'd never use all this space, or I'd never.
Right. Yeah, and then you end up filling that computer. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yep.
How have, when you look at digital marketing over the years, where are businesses falling short?
I would say that it's the overall big picture. Mm-hmm. What businesses, especially small businesses, tend to do is, all right, we got to get our website up and we got to update our website, and we have to get someone to do our social media, whether it's in-house or out-of-house. Search engine, all these things are approached as separate entities instead of just a tool in the tool belt. So they don't have that chief marketing officer that's putting it all together under a strategy and measuring the results. So I think that's really where it is, because that gets expensive to do it correctly. It gets expensive, but at the same time, you have to kind of do it that way to see where your ROI is, see what's working and what's not working, and build campaigns behind what you're doing instead of what I call random acts of marketing.
Yeah. And was that what WebIXI has moved into over the years, was creating those kind of all-encompassing structures for businesses?
Yeah. So right now we have like a fractional CMO type of program. And it's funny, something we started putting together, and it hasn't, Nano, when we started doing Nano, and that kind of overtook this, but we're also creating this alliance of marketing companies where we would be the fractional CMO, and then a lot of the people that around here that are that I think are very good at what they do, they would do a lot of those pieces, those elements of the marketing.
Okay.
And that was called MAMA, Mid-Atlantic Marketing Alliance. So MAMA and NANA.
You and your acronyms.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It CPA.
It comes from the defense industry.
Right. Okay. So, yeah. And man, that's crazy. I'm just flopping this morning, man. Yeah. I'm usually not that bad.
Just make me feel better in case it happens.
Right. Exactly. So you mentioned NANA. And this is kind of gearing more towards nonprofits. You've always been very involved in the community for the longest time. How did this idea of NANA come to fruition? What is NANA? Explain a little bit about that. Okay.
So NANA is the Nonprofit Advocates Networking Alliance. Okay. And June. So the concept's only been around for 6 months. In December, I'm on the board of an organization called Breathe 37.9, and we had kicked around this idea for a while, but in December, I just finally started, we're going to do it. So we were going to set up a networking group that met at the Hope Center in Edgewood. And the idea was, there's a couple of elements to it. The idea was get people in the building, because when you get people in the building now, they're kind of seeing, where we're feeding people, where the food pantry is, what that looks like, where the clothes closet is, and how it's different from a lot of the other organizations like that. And then the monetary side of it is like, we want to get 40 people in here for a once a month group at $25 a month. That would be $1,000 a month, which is how much it costs to fill that pantry every week. So that was kind of it. It would run like most networking groups. You have the mingling in the beginning, and then you have the 30-second introductions. And then where it kind of veers off from that is with the networking groups, a member usually makes a 20, 30-minute presentation. And if you have 30 people, it kind of goes over the course of a year, when they're taking turns. Where with the Christian Professionals Alliance at Breathe would always be the speaker. Now they might be speaking on something new that's happening, or they might be wrestling with an idea and they're using the group as an advisory panel, whatever it is. And the first meeting in January, when it was a great turnout. I mean, and we're going around the room, but once that session started for the nonprofit for Breathe, I was just looking around the room and I could tell that this was totally different, because now all these people had come into this building and now they're hearing about what they're doing here. And it was really just an introductory thing. Mike Nolan was telling them what they do, how it's different. But everybody was locked in, and it just had that feel of this is different. We're here to help. We do our network thing, but for this 30 minutes, we're here to help them and help the community in any way we can. And it was amazing. So that's kind of where NANA had evolved, where it's like we could do that, take that model and put them in nonprofits all over the county. NANA Susquehanna is the first region. So that's actually Harford and Cecil County. So that's the one we're building out. That's just fun to say too.
Yeah, it is. You got to have fun with it.
Yeah.
But then after Breathe 37.9, you've also now invited some others into this NANA group, the different other nonprofits. What are some of those other nonprofits, and even give us just like a brief plug on some of those organizations.
Okay. Well,
and let's actually start with Breathe 37.9, because you kind of touched on it a little bit. But what are they doing for the community?
So Breathe, that one's near and dear to my heart. Like I said, I'm on the board. I've been working with them different ways over 10 years. Mm-hmm. They have this great toy drive. That's how I first got involved, and how that one's a little different is. We collect the toys, and then like on a Saturday we have this wrap party, and then on Sunday we actually go out in the community. We have 2 box trucks now, or one's Same Day Express. Thanks, Kevin.
There you go.
And the other one's Chesapeake Shredding. Thanks, Paul.
There you go.
So one of the trucks is completely filled with presents. One's completely filled with pajamas and stockings, things like that. And last year, driving out in the community, we delivered almost 1,200 presents. Oh, wow. I mean, so we're just kind of going out, and we have last year we had 50 volunteers with us. So they get out and people are running, knocking on doors. Santa's out here, and the community's just coming out. And we have different characters there. I'm Rudolph every year.
You're Rudolph.
Yeah. They can kind of tell I'm not really Rudolph. Yeah. I think the shoes are a giveaway. Yeah. Anyway, so I got involved in that capacity, but what makes them different, every Wednesday they're open to serve lunch. So people come in, and it kind of looks like, it looks like you're walking in a coffee bar, because there's a bar up there. They get you your drink, and you sit down, and then they bring you the food. And while you're doing that, your name, if you wanted to go get some food or some clothes, they got your name. So then they'll call you up at that point when they're ready for you. And instead of just handing you a bag of food, you're going back in this little room that's set up like a grocery store, and they're taking you around, and you get what you need and what you want. Wow. So you're not getting something that you're not going to eat. Nothing's going to go to waste that way. So
right.
And then the clothing closet is set up like a boutique. So even that is kind of different. It's not just stacks of clothes that you got to shift through. Uh-huh. So it's all about people coming in for help and keeping their dignity. And then there's also, it's a faith-based organization, so they're also there to pray with you if you need someone to pray with you. And I mean, there's people that come back now, and they're like, no, I don't need any food this week. I just wanted to come here and be here, because they feel at home. How
many people do you feel like they're serving right now?
Oh my gosh!
Well, you said a lot for the toy drop off.
Yeah, well, it's been, since the Hope Center's been in existence, it's been over 35,000 people.
Jeez.
And I think last week on Wednesday, I think it was 65 families came through.
Wow.
It's a lot.
And that's every Wednesday, every week?
Every Wednesday, and then one Saturday a month.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Breathe 37.9. Mm-hmm. What are some of the other organizations that you guys are working with through NANA? So
the Transformation Center, they are up in Street, and it's kind of a home for women. It started out in recovery, but now it's kind of, women who need some help.
Yeah.
Laura Dahl, who's the executive director of that, she was actually in the Breathe group. Okay. And just from what was going on there, she decided she wanted to have one, which is exactly the way we want it to work. We want a lot of collaborations to go back and forth and all that. There's also CASA of Harford County. They're going to start in September. Fresh Start Furnishings there's a bunch of them starting in June. They're in June.
Which, as we're recording, is this month.
Yes, this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, next week there's two. So next week we have Bethesda's meeting is next week, and it's in Street. It's not Bethesda.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and on Friday, I believe, is Fresh Start next week.
Okay.
But that's the way they're set up, though, is like they're once a month, and each one will be like, first Fridays at 9 a.m. or second Tuesdays, whatever time is good for them. Mm-hmm. So the idea is to have, maybe we can get 15, 20 of them in Harford and Cecil County, where you join one and then you can visit the other ones, if you have an empty spot in your schedule and you want to do that.
Yeah.
So let's see, Hope at a Horseshoe. That's a new organization it's off of 136. Okay. I guess it's Churchville there. And that's just kind of an equine therapy type of thing.
Okay.
Really cool place. So that's like right out there on the farm.
Yeah.
We have Lovely Life, which is an organization that, there's resources out there for, women who want to terminate a pregnancy or need to terminate a pregnancy. This one's for women who want to keep the baby and they need help and resources as well. Yeah. There is also Epicenter is starting up now. That's where we hosted our breakfast the other day, and they're kicking off in September as well. I know I'm forgetting somebody.
Well, if it pops in,
yeah.
we'll definitely drop it.
Yeah.
How has your involvement made a difference in your life as you've been doing this now for years? I mean, You've always been involved, right? I mean,
yeah, that's a good question. But yeah, we have been involved with nonprofits for a long time, and I think what it was is, since our business is our family business now. My two sons work with me.
Okay.
PJ's the president, and Steve is behind the scenes doing websites and stuff like that. Since it was a family business, I was kind of wanted them to know that if you have a business, it's your responsibility to give back. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to give back, go get a job. And I don't mean it that way, but what I'm just saying is if you have a business in a community and that community is supporting you, then it's your responsibility to do what you can. Whether that's the three pillars of philanthropy: time, talent, treasure. Whether that's any one of those. If you don't have enough money, it doesn't have to be money. You can volunteer your time.
Yeah.
And actually, just kind of falling back to Nana for a second, Nana kind of takes that talent pillar and addresses that because when we do think of philanthropy, mostly we're thinking of donations and sponsorships, as well as people volunteering their time on a weekend or something. But that talent piece of it, that happens sporadically. Like we would do a website for a nonprofit, so people using their work skills to do something that just genuine, being a body helping out.
Right. Right.
There's no real mechanism to do that on a recurring basis, and that's kind of what Nana is addressing there, because every one of us can be a philanthropist because we all have different talents, and somebody needs those talents,
and we all have time.
And we
do have time.
We do.
I mean, life is busy.
Yes.
But if we structure it right, we have time.
We do have time.
Yeah.
But so getting back to your question, we started getting involved with a lot of nonprofits just to give back, and then suddenly a lot of them were also wanting to pay us to do what we do. And in a lot of cases, they couldn't afford us. So what we do, well, how much can you afford? And they tell us, and they're, all right, we'll do the rest as an in-kind sponsorship to this event or that event.
Okay.
So we would just kind of, it worked out. So the more and more involved we got in these organizations, the more, deeply rooted that sense of giving back became, because we were getting in there and seeing the need. Just like going back to that Breathe group, when people got in there, it became real to them. We all think, it's terrible. People are hungry or people are losing their homes, and it is terrible. But when you actually go in where they're being served, you're like, it's not only terrible, it's 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
And
yeah, right.
So that makes it real.
Often you think, oh, this is in a different country, or
because in Harford County,
not
we're blessed. I mean, so it's easy to feel dissociated from that or something, or in some capacity. But going there, and it's like, no, I need to help. Once you get in there, you're like, I got help in some way.
Right, to serve. And how much that actually gives you in happiness and gratitude of appreciating things more when you're serving other people.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Is it small businesses that are joining NANA? Are they individuals that are joining NANA? Who's qualified to join the organization to help all these nonprofits?
Also, good question. So what we wanted to do with NANA, because when we first started doing it, like with the Christian professionals, it was a networking group, and then as it was kind of coming to fruition, we're like, not really a networking group. It's more of a civic organization, like the Rotary or the Lions, in that there's a underlying element to why we're there that's rooted around a cause or a passion, rather than kind of a transactional nature of networking groups.
Right.
And what that does is it creates a tribe and a more, deeply held bond. So the idea is we want local businesses, local professionals, but there's also space for people who are retired, who have a lot of knowledge to give back.
Yeah.
People who are just all walks of life. People are actually using the services that might be provided by that. They're they have a lot of input, because I always say we all have, like, you and I got to this room through different paths. It took me 65 years to get here, and
65.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Shut up. But the point I'm making is we had very, very different experiences to get here, and that's valuable to an organization, because there's something in that experience, in that walk to get there, that we can share. That's a unique perspective.
Yeah, like a magic of the mastermind, bringing like-minded people together to create something just so much greater than one person could do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we really want everyone to realize that because a lot of people think that, I don't have anything to share. Yes, you do. We all do.
Yeah. Yeah. If people want to get in touch with you, if people want to connect with you, or if they want to, is there one kind of general website or social media platform that you use to communicate a lot of these things out?
Yeah. So the website for NANA is nanaclubs.com.
Okay.
What's there right now is kind of a placeholder site, because this thing was just kind of coming out of the gate so fast. Steve is working on the real site.
Okay.
And it's
in its infant stage right now.
It really is. Yeah. It's really, I don't want to say I'm making it up as I go along, but it's evolving as it goes along. We'll put it that way.
Right.
But the NANA website will be the best way to contact us. And what we're doing with that site that's not on there yet is we're a member login, where if you're a business and you want to have member-to-member discounts, you can put them in there. So that'll encourage, it kind of flips back to the networking side, where it'll encourage members to do business with each other. And then people who aren't members, they'll be able to see something where if a member wants to have a giving back section, they can get it there. So for example, WebIXI would be on there and say, for example, members get 10% discount on a website.
Okay.
And non-members would look at that and go, all right, if you're getting a website, we'll take that 10% and we'll donate it to any one of these. You pick which one you want it to go to.
Yeah.
So that kind of develops another way to bring the community into it, another benefit for the organizations that are involved.
Sure. What's your greatest challenge right now?
Well, when you're building a new community, it's the chicken and egg thing.
Yeah.
People come when there's people there.
Yes. Right.
So and then when you're building a community, and I learned this way back in '95 with that bulletin board system. I mean, there's people are intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated, and you have to realize that. So you have to have motivations for each type of person to come in. So building that in and kind of articulating the message in a way that will resonate with everybody, or as many people as you can, to build those groups up. So right now what we're trying to do, all these groups are coming out of the gate, we're trying to get those core members in each group. And then once we have that first 6-8 groups up and running, then I think it's just going to start snowballing, because people will really have an understanding what it is.
You said you started in December, January?
Yeah.
And you've gotten up to 36 people so far, or?
Right.
Yeah.
That was one group though.
That's one group.
So now we're filling in these other ones.
There's plenty of gaps that people can fill.
Oh yeah.
But and things are slow in the beginning, but like you said, once it gets going, and again, really, this community is awesome. It
is. Yeah. And this just kind of it feels like a calling. It feels like this perfect storm of, well, this is what we've been doing for the last 30 years. And each one of these elements, the marketing, the networking, we were doing the downtime networking for years now, so the networking side of it, the giving back part of it, working with the nonprofits, all that just seems to be like coming together in this stew where it's like, yeah, it was leading up to this.
Mm-hmm. Are you still doing the downtime networking?
Yeah, that's actually once a month now. It used to be weekly.
Right.
It is once a month now, and we have each month. We're kind of using it also as a Nana happy hour.
Okay.
So each month, one of the nonprofits will be featured, and they'll be able to bring their stuff, and they'll give a little pitch on what they're doing.
And that's still at Hopkins?
Still at Hopkins, yeah.
Still at Hopkins. See, yeah, you do that once a week, and then all of a sudden you're like gaining 5, 10, 15 pounds from all the beers.
You got that right. That was one of the motivating reasons.
You got to cut back on that a little bit. Once a month, Those beers are good.
Those beers are very good.
Where are you taking this? What's the vision? Where do you see this in 5, 10, 15, 20 years?
So the idea is to build this where not only the groups are easy to replicate, but the regions are, next stop, Baltimore County, Delaware.
Okay.
We are talking, was it last week? We were talking to someone who wants to help us, a guy with a law firm down in Baltimore County, but they have locations, all over Maryland and in Delaware and North Carolina. I mean, I think he said he had like 360 employees or something. And he wants to help us move, because he just loved the concept and he just wanted to help us move it all over the place. So
that's cool.
I'm like, be patient.
So we're going to be branching out.
I want it to work first. Yeah. I want it to kind of be a well-oiled machine and then just start spreading it out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. If people want to connect with you personally, where can, and Drew will put this up on the screen for us, where can people reach out and connect?
Email me, pat@webixi.com.
Okay.
Yeah, just reach out to me.
I wish you nothing but great success with this. You have a genuine charismatic presence anytime that I see you out at networking events. See you, absolutely. I know. And if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should watch it on YouTube to see that face that he just gave me. But seriously, man, like you're a good human being doing great things. Everybody has such you say Pat Chambers, and there's just a man of great character that's, everything that you're doing for nonprofits, everything that you've done for the community. Thank you for bringing the internet to Harford County. I mean, what would we be doing if we didn't have that?
Another double-edged sword.
Yeah, right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say it's my fault.
Yeah. And of course, with everything with AI that's going on, with all that and technology, I mean, you're going to have your hands full for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So,
well, I appreciate those kind words.
That's right. Please follow us on social media. We're at the Markland Advantage on Facebook and Instagram. You can download this podcast anywhere you download your podcasts: Apple, Spotify, Audible. And then if you want to watch this, because Pat's a good-looking dude, man. I mean, 65. I was thinking young 50s like myself, but geez, man,
it's getting deep.
He's jacked and just looking good for his age. So subscribe to us on YouTube and get the Pat Chambers visual experience.
Oh man,
well, I tell you,
I didn't sign up for that.
It's kind of like turning beet red right now. Awesome, man. Thank you so much for popping in today. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Until next time, folks, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.